What's going on? Alright, here's something, man. It's like, that's mentioned a lot, man, in a lot of different themes here, man. It's basically, casting out spirits by spirits, okay? Alright, now, we see things like the Catholics pray to these interceding popes. You know what I'm saying? They have popes intercede for them and things like that, which is kind of similar. You got these voodoo people, you know what I'm saying, doing these dances and killing chickens. Uh, you got basically in the Bible when the term exorcist or an exorcism is used, it's when these seven brothers, you know, they watch the Christians or whatever. Even though here's the thing about Christians, okay? They started getting called Christians by other people. I don't think they ever called themselves ever Christians. So, I mean, this is just a title other people call, so we use. It's just like Jesus. That's easily recognizable. So, a lot of people, when you know who that, you're referring to the Bible, or at least the Gospel. So, even though there's a lot of different names and interpretations of the name, it's recognizable, so that's why we use it in terms like Christians. That's why you use it. But anyway, the exorcists, these seven brothers saw the Christians cast out spirits, so they figured, hey, we're going to try this. And the spirits, basically, they had like an exorcism type situation where the demon fights back with you and all this stuff and gnashes around. This person got more demonically charged and whipped all their ass, and they fled naked. You know what I'm saying? So another word for naked sometimes too is like this. Say the demon, they try to cast it out, and it knew everything about them because they were susceptible to demonry themselves, and it exposed all their sin to them, and it turned their own self against them because they really weren't believers. You know what I'm saying? And that's what an exorcism is. This is where people, through their superstitious ways, try to go and cast out a spirit. Because when it comes to real casting out of spirits, it's always like, listen, the person has dominion over the spirits. They don't have to have this big battle of wills, because it's different. This is possible too, the whole battle of will, the whole conjuring and channeling and making magical symbols and incantations, burning different elemental forces to get a certain charged atmosphere to have conversation with spirits. I mean, demon, I think one of its names means knowledge, because they're not living like necessarily beings. They're like a residual type energy, different type of dimensional thing or something. But from my understanding, it seems like, listen, if they ain't indeed real, I mean, it's possible they could be. So it's something to keep in mind about. Because personally, I hear people use this common defense: if you don't believe in these things, then they have no power over you. Well, in a lot of cases, when it comes to voodoo and cursing people, like through these means, through spirits, incantation, symbolism, ancient knowledge, mystery religious practices, mysticism, shamanism. I mean, basically, listen, all these things, they're real, but some things you get from the spiritual realm, I mean, they're very deceptive, and a lot, like exorcists really are just necromancer types, or the consulter of familiar spirits, and they can do things to appease the spirits. But a biblical term or principle isn't to make an agreement. It's actually a dominion. So people can access this, but you also can bring back upon you the seven brothers exorcism situation. So I want everyone to understand this is real, it's crazy, and it's worldwide phenomenon. I mean, if you really look into it. So, something to take into consideration. I've been hearing a lot of talk lately about uh, night attacks and people seeing little kids, spirits and stuff. You know, it's just it's crazy. I'm not sure what's going on here. Is it just that since more people talk about it, are people recognizing it more, or is there something going on where like you know, that supernatural paranormal activities like ramped up? I don't know. It's weird stuff. Or is it just because people are more aware of it? They you know, they're you know, they're attributing normal things to this. You know what I'm saying? This is a possibility. Look, see, you know, I just don't blindly walk after, you know, every possibility like it's the truth. I just take them into considerations like, yeah, that seems like the odds are that's possible. Until I get some other information that says, nah, it's something else. You know, so you got to be, you know, stay open minded when you're out here looking into this and trying to understand this for what it really is. Because now, you know, I see like when people go on fits of anger or complaining, sometimes I feel like it's they got energy vampires or something that are accessing this negative energy, like in its dispersal through the people around it. It's like you're flooding your environment with these negative energy, and it's residual, and then it's also contagious, and it goes around and it festers into, it's like high low pressure that makes a storm. It's like, it's crazy. So you know, I'm wondering sometimes, what is this just is there some kind of environmental thing going on? Like, is it the Wi-Fi? Is it pumping out some weird frequency that is bugging people out, or are they just losing their mind? Or is there demons that are feeding into that and then feeding off of the discharge of this negative energy flow? I mean, these are the type of things I'm sitting back and wondering how deep this is really going here. You know, so I mean, the best way is to combat this as politely and as gently as possible. Point it out and try to resist it, or actually don't assist in it by adding to it. Work against it. You know, try to quell it. That's how you help starve out the demons a little bit. You know, if they are there vamping off this energy source, the worst thing you can do is add more to it. So it's just weird out here. This is it's chess, not checkers. This is, you know, this supernatural chess game that's going on around us at all times. I mean, I'm seeing this thing as like, look, there's real deal demonic exchange going on in people's lives, everyday lives, all across the board. All these lying spirits you see on the news and on I mean, and some stuff on the internet is very deceptive, and it's lying spirits. And then there are also subliminals and psychological embeds and code words and keywords and all this other stuff. And it's all forms of magic in a way, too. Because, I mean, people think magic just pertains to, like, this supernatural, superstitious stuff, when really science and magic are pretty much, they go hand in hand. Ancient magic turned into chemistry, that turned into science, science turned into technology. So there is also this ancient understanding, these ancient priesthoods and the demonic workings, because the demons are attached to symbols, so symbols turn into spells, and that attracts different spirits or demons or supernatural forces. And this is like when Jesus says to the guy, they say, man, he must cast out devils by devils. And then Jesus is like, no, you cast out devils by devils. But if you cast out devils by devils, why would you trip out if you see me cast them out by God? You know what I'm saying? This is the understanding here. Only when it comes to the magician versus the actual real dominion of the Spirit of God. I guess you'd call it that Holy Spirit power. That's how people cast out devils. by God, okay? But there's the counterfeit exorcism as well, and that's also, that goes more back to magic and these other ancient forms of necromancy, demon working. That I mean, it. There's different forms of it in all cultures. It's all Kabbalah like. I mean, you can see a reoccurring theme. You know, if you really understand this thing. This cube, I'm seeing it everywhere. The cube is that hexagon in the middle of the Star of Moloch. So I mean, this is all crazy occult stuff, but it's not what I believe in and what I practice in. But look, this is what they believe and what they practice in, and this is how they communicate their symbols. You know, I mean, the cube is Saturn. That leaks back to Odin, the black sun, the Nazi swastika. This dark sun is the cube. It's also in the middle of the Star of Moloch, Chronos, time. I think these things are all connected. You know, it's a deeper principle. I ain't been I ain't known about it forever, but the cube basically means like the Matrix. That's when you're inside the box, you're inside that cube. You know what I'm saying? And that's a form of magic, when you trick someone and you bend reality, where you got them stuck in a false paradigm and they don't even realize it. I mean, this is it. Casting out a demon, that's a vain imagination. Sometimes that's fed by demonic things as well as physical, environmental, circumstantial things.